Once upon a time, in a faraway land.
Actually, not that far away, just in your TV screens. There lived all your favorite fairy tale characters. Sorta. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to see all your favorite fairy tale characters come to life? Would Elsa still have ice powers? And would Captain Hook still be evil? The hit ABC series Once Upon a Time actually reimagined all of our Disney faves in the real world. Let's just say comparing them to their animated selves gets pretty shocking. Prepare yourselves.
Snow White defeated the evil queen? I did not see that coming.
From classics to new 2000s hits, Once Upon a Time did not discriminate. In fact, they covered one of the hottest Disney princesses to date, the one and only Elsa of Arendelle. Like her animated twin, the Elsa in the series had her classic ice-cold braid, blue dress, and a personality that could humble literally anyone. While she got to keep her looks and magical ice powers, Elsa wasn't the queen of Once Upon a Time. In fact, her whole story in general was a little different. She was trapped in a magical urn and had her memories wiped after both her and her sister Anna discovered that their parents had actually been researching how to strip their evil aunt Ingrid of her ice powers. So in the end, Elsa in Once Upon a Time was still the princess we all loved, but just with a darker added twist.
How can you say these things? We promised we'd never be like this.
Once Upon a Time couldn't have done a Frozen arc without the bubbly princess. Or should we say Queen of Arendelle? Anna. Like her sister, she is literally an exact replica of her animated self, except, well, real. But her red hair and her engagement to Kristoff is where those similarities end. Like Elsa, her story is a little different than the classic tale Disney spins. She, along with Kristoff, were put under a curse and stuck in a crate in the ocean by their evil Aunt Ingrid. Luckily, Elsa along with Emma were able to save them. Once Upon a Time actually really focused on Princess Snow White. While the real-life version played by Ginnifer Goodwin might have had the same black hair, kind face, magical singing voice, and 7 house guests, she was also a warrior. Let's just say she could rival Katniss Everdeen with a bow and arrow. You've probably guessed that this means her story is a little different from the original we all love, and you're absolutely right. She's actually one of the reasons why the evil queen became, well, evil. That's why she spends the majority of the series on the run from her stepmother and her minions. The evil queen curses her, Prince Charming, and the rest of the kingdom to the real world. In the cursed town of Storybrooke, Snow White is actually a lonely grade school teacher. You might be wondering how exactly Snow White managed to make the evil queen evil, and we have the answer for you. The evil queen, also known as Regina Mills, although wealthy, grew up with a kind heart like her father. She even saved Snow White from a terrible horse riding accident, but she kept her secret love, the stable boy, from her mother. When Snow White outed her, Regina's mother Cora ripped out his heart and killed him in front of her. I mean, we kinda don't blame her for going evil. Do you? She spends years trying to capture Snow White for revenge, and even took on the same powers as her mother, removing people's hearts and killing them, or even controlling them. She still uses her classic magic mirror and creates a poisonous apple.
Stop denying who you are, Snow White.
When you think of Rapunzel, the first thing that probably pops into your head is flowing blonde hair that is too long to even imagine having in the real world. In Once Upon a Time, her appearance might originally be similar to the Rapunzel we've all grown to love, but she actually ends up doubling as Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, also known as the evil stepmother. So in this Rapunzel story, it's safe to say we got more of a Mother Gothel type lady. Like we mentioned before, Prince Charming marries Snow White in this series instead of Cinderella. While his appearance is, you guessed it, charming, and he is very noble, and his backstory is anything but traditional. In fact, he's actually an identical twin. As a baby, his brother was whisked away to be raised by a king, and he was left to be raised on his mother's farm. But when his brother is killed, he's kidnapped by the king to take his place.
Well, I'm impressed.
Ariel. She just wants to be where the people are. And the mermaid princess in Once Upon a Time was no different. This red-haired couldn't wait to grow legs and be with her Prince Eric forever. But before that could happen, things got a little dark. There may not have been a flounder in this film, but there was an Ursula. Using a potion the sea goddess had given to her, she got a magical night with Prince Eric. But the evil queen who was on the hunt for Snow White tricked Ariel into thinking she was Ursula. She gives Ariel legs forever and turns Snow White into a mermaid. But once upon a time, Ariel was a true, strong, independent woman and stabbed the evil queen before she can get away. Once upon a time, Ariel seems like she'd be one heck of a best friend.
But can you keep a secret? I'm a mermaid.
So we never really got to see Ariel interact with the real Ursula, but that doesn't mean she doesn't exist in the world of Once Upon a Time. She looks a lot different than the animated Sea Witch, and her story is way better. Ursula actually starts off as a mermaid, but after being tricked by her father and Captain Hook to give up her beautiful singing voice, she transforms herself into a green sea monster in order to take reign over her father and his kingdom. Wild, right?
Ursula, you can
call me your majesty.
Once Upon a Time kept this character's stunning beauty, wardrobe, and love for books, but her story again is intense compared to the original. She actually trades herself willingly to become the maid to a beast in order to protect her family during the kingdom's ogre wars. She of course falls in love with the beast just like the films, but gets whisked away by the evil queen's curse. She forgets all her memories and is locked up in a mental asylum.
And you're rude.
How is the beast like in Once Upon a Time, you ask? Well, he's definitely a beast. The beast in this series also takes on the role of Rumpelstiltskin and the Dark One. He was cursed with the darkest magic in order to protect his son from going to war. The dark magic also came with a tendency to be evil and some pretty gross leathery skin. Unlike the movie though, his love for Belle is unable to break the Dark One's curse. Doesn't mean they still can't be together, right? Captain Hook didn't just have a part in Ursula's story. He played a huge role in this series and actually managed to become one of the core characters. You might be imagining the classic permed black-haired, lame pirate that you saw in the original Peter Pan movies. But this Captain Hook is actually a huge vibe. Or maybe it's better to say a hot vibe? His real name is actually Killian Jones. Like many other villains, he actually started off as an innocent and kind orphan who fell into the ranks with the wrong crowd. As a pirate, he fell in love with a woman named Mila, who happened to be the Dark One, also known as Rumpel's wife. He clearly didn't take that too well, because Captain Hook lost his hand and Mila her life. Since that moment, Hook has called Rumpel the Crocodile, get it? And swore to one day kill him for what he'd done.
Killing me's gonna take a lot more than that, dearie.
We have warrior princess Mulan. Jamie Chung does an amazing job bringing this animated character to life, and appearance-wise, she's basically identical. In the series, she's actually the protector of Princess Aurora and Prince Philip. But there's a twist. She's also in love with Aurora. We know, we didn't see it coming either. But how iconic is that?
Why are you smiling at me?
Merida might belong to the other studio, but Once Upon a Time still managed to sneak her into their storyline in Season 5. In the show, she still has the same fiery red hair, medieval blue dress, and an attitude that no one wants to cross. She's also never seen without her bow and arrow and is still titled as a hero for saving her mother and 3 annoying but adorable brothers from a curse.
You saw what I can do with an arrow. Do you really want to see what I can do with a sword?
It was a whole new world for Jasmine when she left Agrabah to come to Storybrooke in search of Aladdin and a way to save her kingdom. Once Upon a Time knew they had to be super accurate when it came to including Princess Jasmine. She looks almost identical to her animated version. Although she had many different outfits, we still saw the princess in her traditional dresses. You might be wondering why we didn't really mention Peter Pan when talking about Captain Hook. And that's because Hook wasn't the villain in that tale. In fact, he was the victim. That's right, Peter Pan is a villain in Once Upon a Time. And unlike some other evil characters, he doesn't really have a forgivable backstory. He's just evil. He created Neverland and took over the island's magic in order to selfishly stay young forever. As for the Lost Boys, he tricked them into believing they'd have a better life on the island, but instead of paradise, it was more like constant war. There are some similarities between Pan and his animated version. They're both young, elfish, and wear green.
We don't have any kings in Neverland. Just me.
While Disney has given us so much incredible content throughout the years, there's no doubt that they've also left a lot of room for creativity and imagination. Which comparison was the most shocking for you? Who was your favorite Disney character versus Once Upon a Time character? Share all your magical thoughts with us in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. See you in the next kingdom.